Hi, this is a new episode in our Python programming journey. Today we are going to learn about modules. We are going to learn how to create a module, import the module, and see how we can use them in our projects. So let's do it. So we created our file, student.utils.py, and this is the file we are going to use as the module. And in this file, we are going to put our functions in this file. And the function we will create a second file that we will call main. And in our second file, we will call the function in this file. And this is how we are going to use this file as our module. Here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create my first function, call it greet student. When the function is called, it's going to greet a student. It's just going to print the greetings and the name of the student. Def greet students. Def greet students, and I'm going to pass it the name. So the name is going to be a simple string. So here I'm going to return the greetings. Return. I'm going to use my f string here, curly braces, and hello, the name, wherever the name is. So yeah, that's our first, and the second function is going to be a function to calculate the average grades of our students. And the name of the function, I'm going just to do calculate average, and the grades are going to be just a list of grades. Okay, so what I'm going to return here is we are going to return, I want the program to return the sum of the grade divide by the length of the grade. And basically, as you know, this is just the average grade. We are going to take the sum of all grades divided by the length of all the grades, and this is how we find the average of the grades. So those are our first two functions, and these are the function we are going to use in our second file we are going to create. And we are using this file here as the module. And our second file we are going to create, I will name it the main. And in the main file, we are going to call these functions and make them work. Let's see how we can do that. I'm going to continue our project in Jupyter Notebook. For the first file, I used VS Code, but you can use VS Code or Jupyter Notebook. It doesn't matter. I used it for some reason. So now I'm going to create our file called main. And this is the file I'm going to use to call our functions and to import our module. So now what I'm going to do is so in this file, I'm going to do the first thing. I'm going to import our student UTILS. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a tuple of the grades of our students. So I'm just gonna do grades equal, and I'm going to use some random numbers, 39, 97, 81, and 90. So those are our grades. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to print student utils dot greet students, and I'm gonna give it the name of the student. Let me use my name, which is Medard. I just call it the function greet student, and I did print students UTLI, which is the name of the module I am importing here, dot greet student, which is the function I'm calling, and I gave it the name, and the name is Medar. We are going to see how it's going to work. So secondly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the second function. I'm going to do print f string here, and I'm gonna do average grade, and let me do students utils dot calculate average grade, and I'm just going to round it after 2 decimals because I believe it's going to come out as a float pointing number. So I'm just rounding it after 2 decimal. So let's try this. Let's try this and see if it works. Okay, let's try it and see if it works. So, boom. Okay. Hello, Medar. Average grade is 89.25. So here is the result of our first module. As you can see, everything did work. Very good. So next, what we are going to do is, so we are going to create a dictionary called classroom, where keys are student names and values are tuple of grades. And we are going to loop through the dictionary and print each student's name and average grade using the module again. So this is going to be very fun and interesting. Let's see, let's do it. So we are going to go back to our first file in here, and we are going to create another function, def classroom. I'm going to do def classroom, this def classroom, and I'm going to give it my dictionary equal, and I'm going to give it a tuple of grades. So here we have 88. Let me do 93, 98, 92. All right. Comma. Our next student, I'm going to call him Alan. Hi, Alan. So Alan has, let's give him 78 in math, 85 in history, 88, 90 in Python. All right. Comma. So our next student, I'm going to call him John. Mr. John has 92, 98, 83, and let me give him finally 78. What is this, bro? Those are our students. So what I'm going to return here, I'm going just to return my dictionary, my text. Okay, we just created our next function. So I defined the function called classroom, and I created the variable here called myDict, and I gave it medar, which is the students, and the tuple of grades 88, 93, 98, and so on. So next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our main file, which is here, and in our in our main file, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the function we just created. So I'm gonna do here my div, which is the name of our module, students, UTILS dot the name of our function, which is class. All right. Next, what I'm going to do is to iterate through the dictionary. So I'm gonna use the follow for students and grade for students grades in in my dictionary dot items average equal students dot calculate average, and I'm gonna give it dot calculate average. So here I'm gonna give it a grade, and finally what I'm going to do is to now to print. Let me use f string here, and what I'm going to print is students and his average. And next, what I'm going to do is again, I'm going to round to two after two decimal. I'm gonna do 0.2f, and I'm gonna close the curly braces. So I did myDict equal students utils dot classroom, which is the function, the name of the function I'm calling here. And I did for students grades in myDict.items, the average equal students utils dot calculate average, which is again the name of the function I want to use here. So I won't repeat everything. I'm just using again the name of this function calculate average to calculate the the average of grades in this dictionary. And finally, I'm going to print the student and his average. So let's try the program and see if it works. All right, I believe you saw everything we did to create this, the new function. And this is how we did call the new function and used it in our main file. So I'm going to run the program and see if it works. So, all right. So our first function, uh, we used it to say hello to the students, which is this line here, and it works with this line here. So the second function, we used it to calculate the average uh, of the students, which is this line here. Average is 89.25. And we use this line here. We imported the module students and we did call the function, which was calculate average. We gave it the grade, which the grades are here, and then it gave us this result. For next, we created a dictionary and we gave it random grades and we gave it names of students, and we used this for loop to look through the dictionary and print each student with the average grade. And this is the result here. Next, in our episode, we are going to talk about sorted containers. Sorted containers is a powerful library for sorted lists, sorted dictionaries, and sorted set. Each time you add or remove an element from the list or the dictionary or the set, it remains sorted. So let's see how it works. But first of all, what we are going to do is we are going to install the sorted container, and this module I can install it. We can use the command line. Let me do cmd, and here I'm going to do pip install containers, hit enter, and okay, so for me it's already installed, so it just told me requirements already satisfied, but for you it's gonna and ready to work. So let's go back, and now what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to create my list equal sorted. But first of all, what I'm going to do, I have to import first the sorted container. From sorted containers, import sorted lists. From sorted containers, import sorted list. Now I'm going to do my list equal sorted list, and I'm just gonna do an empty list. So next, what we're doing here is I'm gonna use the for loop for I in my list, for I in my list, and for I in my list. No. So what I'm doing is, if I take my list, I'm just doing nothing. But I'm gonna do for I in the grades, I'm gonna use the grades. For I in the grades I have there, and I'm gonna do my list dot add I. So I'm creating a new variable here called my list, and I'm gonna make it sorted each time. I'm giving it an empty list, but the list, every time I'm going to append or to add a new element to the list, it's gonna be sorted. And I'm using the for loop to loop through the grades and take each element and add it to the empty list. So now I'm doing, so let's me print, let me get out of this loop and print my list and see what I have in my lists for now. So this is how the sorted containers module work in Python. I did from sorted container import sorted list, because it has many things. It has sorted dictionaries, sorted sets. So I just want the sorted list function. This is the only thing I want to use. That's why I did from sorted containers import sorted list. After that, I created my my variable called my list. I created an empty list and I did sorted list. So each time I add an element to the list, it's gonna automatically be sorted. I use the for loop to look through all the grades I have. And each time I find a new grade, I'm gonna add it to the my list. And here I'm going to print everything. Let's try it and see if it works again. So now it's time to test our program and see if it works. And I think everything logically is perfect and fine. So I'm gonna run the program, and you can see here it prints uh, sorted lists is 78, 83, 92, and 98. It's basically sorted, if as you can see. So I'm gonna do here is, let me do print so we can see everything. I'm gonna do this. You're gonna copy this line and I'm going to print it maybe here, and let's see now. Nope. I don't wanna repeat it like this. So I'm gonna take this out of the loop and prints, and now you can see. So this is the first module, and this was the result. This was our second module, and this was the result. And we used our sorted containers, and this was the result. Next and last, what we are going to do in our episode So we are going to write a short script using at least 5 different Python keywords. Example, def, else, for, or import. So lastly, we are going to comment each keyword with a brief explanation of its purpose. Let's do this. Let's do it. So let me restart the kernel here. And what I'm going to do now, so let me just name this the script. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a very short, a very simple like program that can ask the user to enter a task list. And at the end of the program, it's gonna print how many like all we have on our list. So but in doing this, I'm gonna use the module time. So I'm gonna import time and I'm gonna be using time to show our user like what time is it. And I think they're gonna be interesting. So let me do it. Let's do it. I'm going to do from that time import that time. I'm gonna do now equal that time dot now. The current let me do the current time. Let me do the current time equal now dot start f time, and I'm giving it the format which is going to be this modulus operator here, and I'm gonna do h, which is hour, the sign again, and minutes, the sign again, and second. So that was the time, and I believe these two lines here are going to help us print the time, the current time, each time the user is working with our program. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an empty list of tasks. Lists of tasks equal an empty list. So after creating the empty list, I'm gonna create a function def my work schedule. Let me do it this way. My work schedule and I'm using the while loop while through okay, prompt one equal input. Do you need to add do you need to add a new task? Okay, the program is asking the user if they want to add a new task. If prompts if prompts if prompt one is equal to yes to the string yes, prompt two equal inputs, please enter your task. And if prompt two in task, prompt two in list of task prints. So if prompt two is already in the list of task, prints this task is already in your list, and continue. Else list of tasks dot I'm gonna append the second prompt. So if the user did enter a new task and this task is not already in the list, I'm going to append the prompt two, and I'm gonna print the list of tasks. So I'm going to print the list of tasks. Oh, yeah. But also also if prompt one is equal to the string no, to the string no, I'm gonna print what I'm going to print here is I'm going to create a new line, and I'm gonna do current task. So now I'm going to use again a follow for index because I need to enumerate. So I need to print each task and enumerate. So 1 2 3 4. So I'm gonna do index task in enumerate, and what I'm going to enumerate is the list of tasks, and I'm going to go one for each list, one for each task. So and after that, I'm printing my tasks enumerated. I'm gonna use the f string again here, and I'm doing index dot task index dot task. Okay, and lastly, I think this is the end of my program. I'm gonna print now, just say print Oh, I forgot something here. So now I'm going to print goodbye. I'm gonna say goodbye to the user. Goodbye. And after printing the goodbye, I'm just going to break. Okay, so what we did in this program, this is our simple script we are doing, and we are going to use the def, if, else, for, and imports. So I did from datetime import datetime. Now is the variable, and I'm gonna put the date time dot now inside the variable now. I'm doing current time, which is another variable, and equal to now dot strf time, and I'm giving it the time format. After that, I created an empty list called list of tasks, and this is the first def function because we are asked to use a def function in our program. And I did my week schedule. I think this needs some indentation here. So yeah, I think this needs an indentation here. Oh, let me go like this way, point if. All right. So I use the while loop to keep asking the user to enter the task. So prompt one equal inputs. Do you need to add a new task? We're just asking the user if they want to add a new task. If prompt one equal yes, if the user enter yes, prompt two equal inputs, please enter your task. If prompt two in list of tasks, print this task is already in your list and continue. Else means if the task is not already in the list of tasks, we are taking the list of tasks and append the prompt to the task the user just entered. Prints, and we're printing the list of tasks. So I wanted to each time to print the list of tasks so the user can see how many and which tasks are already in the list. So I'm just gonna comment here. I am printing, or maybe it doesn't matter. So that's what I'm doing. Elif prompt one equal no. If the user enter no to the prompt one, I'm going to print current task. I'm doing for a for loop here because I need to enumerate each task. So for index task in enumerates list of tasks by one, print f string index dot task and print goodbye and break. So let's try our program. Okay. We got a syntax error here, unmatched. So where is it? I think this is here. The problem is this. So let's try again. We have a problem again. So expected indentation block after if statement. So where is it? This is here. Yes. Uh, all right. And this have to be into. Okay, let's try again. Again. Threaded indentation print. Where is it? So after the if statement, yes, this is the one, I believe. All right, let's try again. Oh my God, again. Uh, it's a if statement. Okay, let's try again. Okay, I believe now it's working. Let me call the function. Uh, let me call our function now and see if it works. Okay. All right, so do you need to add a new task? I'm gonna say yes. Please enter your task. I'm gonna say buying groceries. Do you need to add a new task? I'm gonna say again yes. Please enter your task. I'm gonna do laundry. Do you need to add a new task? Yes again. Please enter your task. I'm gonna go for ride. And now, do you need to add a new task? I'm gonna say no. And current task is buying groceries, doing laundry, go for ride, and goodbye. I see a little mistake here. Goodbye. So the thing I didn't see in our program is I didn't see our time anywhere. So let me see how I can fix that. So here I can see I did not print the time. That's why we didn't see the time anywhere in our program. So let me do print uh, current time. Current time is equal. So I'm doing current time is current time. Current time. Some spelling here. Current time is current time. So let's try one more time. Gonna restart the kernel and run again. We can see now the time is here. Now it's 11, 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Do you need to add a new task? I'm saying yes. Doing laundry. Doing my laundry. Yes, again. Going to school. New task. Yes. I'm gonna cook my dinner. And now I'm saying no, I'm done. All right. So the time we did print it only here. We did not bring it down here, but now you can see everything is working perfectly. Thank you very much.